Hi, this is Shoshana Shia from beahappymom.com and our online store, which you'll find on creationsfromjerusalem.com. This video is a follow-on from the theme that I did quite some time ago about being mindful, looking at gratitude and appreciation while you're baking and you're preparing for Shabbat. It's Wednesday today, that I'm on the day that I'm filming, and on a Wednesday is usually when we start to wish somebody for Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom is said already from Wednesday. So this thought is connected to something else that you're going to find on your Shabbat table. I think I was baking some challah at the time of the previous video. If you watch all the way to the end, I'll put a link at the end to that video, and I'll put a link also in the show notes below. So in today's video, we're looking at being mindful and appreciating another aspect of what's said right at the beginning of your Shabbat meal. Before you get to Hamotzi, you're going to be doing Kiddush. So this is a thought we came up with in discussion at our Shabbat table of Shabbat that's just passed. Gave me the idea. We happened to have purchased a wine that we hadn't had for a while, and when we were tasting it, the taste was slightly different to what we remembered. It has a little bit more of a vinegary kind of taste, and if you think about that, it's not surprising because both wine and vinegar come from grapes. So let's think about this a little bit more. There are all sorts of things that once you start the process that we're working through in this video and in the other video, which you can apply to any task that you're involved in. Once you start tracing back and thinking through all the different items and all the different processes and all the different materials involved in anything that you're using to fulfill a task, the potential to be thanking Hashem can become infinite. So we're starting off, we're putting the Kiddush cup on the side for now, and we're focusing on the wine that's inside that cup. Before we get to the wine itself, let's go back to where it was growing on the vine, and we're going to be considering and thanking Hashem for the grapes that were used. There are different colors of grapes, and already we can be thanking as to whether we had a rosé or whether we had a white wine. A red wine is usually used at Kiddush for various reasons, so that would be more of a red kind of a grape, and we can be considering what kinds of grapes were used in the production of the wine that we're using at Kiddush. There's different sizes of grapes, there are different types of grapes. Each of the different types of grapes are going to give a different flavor. So here you'll see in the video, I'll be including a number of little clips, either video or images for you, so follow along. And these grapes are growing on a vine. They have to be taken care of, and there are all sorts of details involved in taking care of these grapes on the vine until it gets to the stage that they can be harvested for us and start on the process towards becoming wine. So we're going to be thanking Hashem for whoever the farmer was that purchased the land, is maintaining the land, for the nutrients that go, any added nutrients that the farmer might be adding, or natural nutrients from the soil, the seasons, as we put into our other video. There are all sorts of details that go into the seasons, from the rain, the formation of the clouds that enables us to have the rain. You need the wind. There are certain times in our prayers that we're going to be praying for. We're davening for rain and for wind, or we're davening and thanking for the dew. So there's a connection happening all the time with the seasons, and the seasons are necessary in order to keep our fruits growing, to continue to have the nutrients within them, to become large enough, ripe enough to be able to be picked. And there's going to be people involved in the process of the picking, the harvesting. There are people involved, and so we can be thanking Hashem for all of those people who are involved in this process. any of the machinery that's involved, whether it's tractors that are taking the grapes, whether there's any containers that are used, what kind of materials are used in making those containers, were the grapes put into baskets, were they put into boxes, how are they transported from the vine to wherever they're going to go. Perhaps there's going to be some sorting. Somewhere along the line they're going to reach wherever it is, whether it's the farmer himself who's making the wine, or it goes from somebody else who purchases those grapes to be able to make the wine. So here we can see if there's a transport process involved, then we're going to get to a tremendous amount of details that we could be thanking almost infinitely, related to the type of the vehicle, the technicians involved, in those people involved in designing the vehicle, the materials involved, the making of the vehicle, the person who had the license to be able to purchase this tractor or this vehicle that will help us to transport those grapes to wherever it goes for the winemaking. Then whoever it is that's involved in the winemaking has to have gone for courses to learn how to make the wine. The wine gets put into certain caskets in certain vats. I don't know exactly the process involved too much. I'm sorry, I haven't studied winemaking, but we can say thank you for the person who did go to the trouble of learning how to make the wine for us. The wine, once it is made in a certain process, is going to be put into bottles. So there's the materials involved in making the glass, in making up those bottles. There are labels involved, there might be corks, there are screw chops, there's certain packaging that goes on the top of the bottles. There's processes involved as to whether that wine is going to be pasteurized or not. That's another process involved, and whoever's going to be doing that for us will have to know all of those laws. Now we come to another detail in thanking Hashem for all of these details that enable us to have a bottle of wine on our Shabbat table, that we can be able to make Kiddush. The next detail involved is there'll be a mashgiach somewhere along the line. He's going to have gone through learning all sorts of laws involved in kashrut in order to be the mashgiach, that he can be monitoring whatever the process is. We're going to have a kosher bottle of wine on our table, obviously, and that's why I'm bringing in the mashgiach. There's a company involved, an organization involved, who provides the kashrut supervision, and so there's a whole area that we can be thanking for all of those rabbis and mashgichim who are involved in the process of making sure that that wine is going to be kosher for us. Then we come to the details of the graphic designer, whoever it was that was involved in the printing of those labels, in designing those labels, both the font, the text, the images, the graphics, a lot of work that goes into that. The glass that involved, we've mentioned already. Once that wine has been made for us, it's processed and it's got into the stores, then it has to go to a specific store, which is the store that we purchase it from. A price has to be assigned to that bottle of wine and bring us to that particular store, that we can be able to purchase that wine, or perhaps we're given it as a gift, and then there's thank you that would be involved to whoever it was that gave us the gift. So here we have all sorts of details involved just in being able to have that wine that we can do Kiddush. Now you can say thank you as well, that the grapes don't only provide for us wine, that we also could have grape juice, we also can have vinegar. There are all sorts of details. If you start learning about the benefits of vinegar, you can use it for cleaning purposes, you can use it in your washing instead of a fabric softener. There are all sorts of benefits for vinegar. You can use it in a salad dressing, tremendously versatile product that we have in vinegar, and we still could have all sorts of details involved, just enabling us to be able to have that wine to put into the Kiddush cup which should be silver. We can get into thanking about that. That's another detail if you want to spend some time contemplating that. And I hope with these thoughts in mind that you'll be able to have some more appreciation as you say Kiddush, as you say your blessing, and be mindful of how many tremendous details are involved in enabling us to have the basics that we need to be able to get through our day-to-day life and to be able to live our lives doing what we're supposed to do in this world. So that's some thoughts we came up with as we were doing Kiddush last week. I thought I'd share them with you. I'd love to hear from you if you found a video like this to be beneficial. And next time you're doing any task, if you're finding frustrated in life, you're perhaps a little bit bored, or you have a lot of problems in your life, perhaps you're stressed, or there's pressure or decisions to be made, spend a little bit of time. You don't necessarily need to set aside a specific time to do it. You can do it when you're washing up, you can do it when you're ironing. Anything that you're doing, allow yourself, your mind to go to trace back. If you're doing your ironing, you can be looking at your ironing board, your iron. We can get into a different video of all sorts of activities, how you can be mindful, how you can be present, how you can increase your appreciation for everything that's going on in your day-to-day life. Have a very blessed Shabbat as we preparing for Shabbat, and let me know how you go with your next Kiddush that you come to, whether this video helps you to have ideas as to what you can be thinking about in appreciating the wonders of this world that we live in. It's Shoshana Shir from beahappymom.com and our online store that you'll find on creationsfromjerusalem.com. And I'd love to hear what you want to be seeing in another video. So I have a number of ideas in mind. Subscribe to this channel and you'll be able to see what other videos I'm putting out. If you have a suggestion or a question, you can either pop it in the notes below, in the comments below, or be in touch. There are a number of links that you'll find in the show notes and in other parts of this video. Be in touch. Love to hear from you, and I'd love to see you in another video. Bye for now.